Hey yo, this is Amir.
And this is Hanafi.
And this is Nazreen.
And we are the Golden Nuggets Podcast.
This podcast is brought to you by WordPress. Ever wonder why some websites always pop up first? That's SEO magic at work. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And if your website isn't up there, you're missing out big time. Here's the deal. Every day your website stays hidden is the day your competitors grab your customers. It's not just about being online, it's about being seen. At WordPress, we turn your website from invisible to irresistible. Simple, effective SEO that gets you noticed, gets you customers, and gets you ahead. Don't let your website be the internet's best kept secret. Make it a customer magnet. Ready to be found? Visit wordpress.com/search. Let's make your website the star of the show this year. Don't miss out. Hey guys, welcome back to the Golden Nuggets Podcast. My name is Nazreen, and we have Amir and Hanafi.
Hey guys, what's up?
Alright, so today we're going to talk about our quarterly review about Golden Nuggets Podcast, as per se, what we have done so far for the past 3 months, because we are coming to the end of April at this point of recording. And,
End of March.
End of March. We are reaching April soon, so we're gonna wrap up what's in it for us, what happened for the past 3 months, and probably share a bit of our thoughts of how we can move forward as a podcaster, as a business podcaster. So maybe to kick off this. Let's see how you guys want to start first, Hanafi.
Okay. What's your favorite episode? Let's just dive into it, and then let's give the audience what they want. What's your favorite episode?
Alright.
Nice.
Me? You're asking me?
Yeah.
You ask me, then I speak back lah.
Let me try to flashback for the past 3 months.
Okay. While you do that, maybe Amir, you have any?
Favorite episode. Honestly speaking, I really feel Din's episode is my favorite episode because that's the one that I listen to a lot of times.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the golden nuggets that we actually managed to get from the episode is a lot, especially the part where he say manja-manja with Tuhan, and also how he actually hustled through, like started his very first business, jual kasut, all the way until now. He's, looking at how the song traditional is growing, I think he have really figured out a lot of things based on his past mistakes, and we also learn a lot of his his journey in that episode. So from there you can actually roughly design on how you want to move forward as a business owner.
Okay. That day, unfortunately, I was sick, so I wasn't there. I wasn't here for the podcast. But I think that's one of the episodes that I personally listened to for quite a bit. Like I think we take a lot of inspiration from that. Like all his sharings, like his failures and so on. So of course, the I don't know lah what you all talk about, right? But yeah, it's a very interesting recording, I would say. Right.
And I think another one that I listened to quite a number of time is the one we did with Faisal, Fi Baby.
Okay, Azizi. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Nas?
There's a few. I have a few favorites.
You have a few favorites.
Actually,
I have two, but never mind. You go first.
Based on what who we bring in, right, as a guest. I like Ustaz Mizi. Because I think he shared really insights of how he gets started in entrepreneurship. The next one is actually,
but he say what? Happiness is Liverpool beating Arsenal.
So
the good thing is after that episode, Arsenal beat Liverpool.
Put it that way. That's good.
The score was
yeah.
And then Yanto and Agent G. I think they also paint a good picture of a couple business owner.
So couple business owners, I think that's something that I also strive to be lah. Like want to be like them. That's why I ask them a lot of couple questions.
Right. Yeah, and Kak Ani. Harani Osman. Because I think she shared about her, her struggles as well as person who worked in different agencies and then end up opening her own. And last but not least, got one more is Shahid.
Because you get to eat the food, right?
Yeah.
I think right now, so while you are at it, right, why not you list down all the episodes?
Yeah, okay. So basically, what my take is basically on top of the food lah. He shared, or those guys I mentioned shared about their journey. So when they do this journey is being put out there, I believe many people can relate, and nuggets is left, right, center.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the reason why. If you want me to list out, maybe in chronological order. Okay. The last episode that we upload is Joel Low. Okay.
Which is an episode that I personally think Nas today, especially for today Nas, I think you need to go and listen to the episode.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I think his tone of voice is very calm.
Yeah.
Amir likes it, right? He mentioned podcast.
Why are you trying to say it?
and
I mean, I do like my voice lah. Because
his voice.
He taught me how to sing, right? So
yeah. Okay. So and then we have Eri from Erisu, and then we have Velvet Spider. Okay. And then we also have Afan. Afan Realtor.
Wait, you're listing all now?
If you want.
No, don't need lah.
Hey, they can go and watch it. YouTube also lah, and Spotify.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
So I don't need to list out all, but I think those are the things that those are few which have really caught my attention lah. How about you, Hanafi?
Me? Nobody calls me Alfie anymore lah. But yeah, I think
Lavanya Rose. How about her?
Lavanya is also a good episode. Yeah, but Hanafi, what's your favorite?
I like Mustafa. Mustafa Kamal.
Okay.
Yeah, because he
really a lot of nuggets in a very short period of time.
Yeah, because actually, to be honest, he didn't mention this, but he had a meeting after that podcast, right? So this is something that we discussed off air. He had a meeting after the podcast, so he said he can spare about 1 hour. He can try to stretch about 1 hour 10 minutes at that point of time, right?
Yep.
Yeah, very rushing.
Usually, you guys know already, it's 25 to 30 minutes per part. Yeah,
Yes.
one part, right? So one whole full episode with a guest is actually around 1.5 hours.
Yep.
But he was able to squeeze in a lot of nuggets within a short period of time, and I think that's a very commendable.
Yes, I agree.
Act, right? That recording itself, I think if you listen, can hear how he really start from
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel it could be any Singaporean son punya journey.
Yep.
You know, if you actually sign on for a few years, then after that you plan to run business, right? I think that's one way you can actually do it also.
Yes. And unknowingly he took upon a very huge liability when he took up the what's this called? When he took up the shop house that he wanted to.
Yeah.
And because of that, he had to think of different ways to raise money to be able to pay off that capital that he actually needed. So I think that journey is very unique.
Yeah.
And he adapted. He adapted from looking for ways to sustain and pay the rental. Because I think he need to buy the whole 3 floors, right?
Yeah.
And then he bring in the F&B business that's not doing that well.
Yes.
He learned to actually do it.
Yep.
And it works.
Yeah. He went from being an officer to painting the walls.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so I think if you guys really want to learn, that's one of my favorite episodes.
Then another episode. Another favorite episode that you have?
Actually, the one I mentioned, Yanto and Agent G. Because it's couples, right? And I can totally relate because I run a husband and wife business as well. So yeah.
Okay. What about our numbers? We talk about this season numbers.
This season numbers.
No, you don't have it. Can you check this season numbers?
I don't have it.
Who is the most streamed?
Most streamed? I think.
Okay, I know on YouTube.
Dane,
on YouTube, amazingly, Dane's episode have reached over 1,000 views.
I think more right now.
Like over 1,000 stream. Whereas the rest is like barely 10 or 20, right?
Yeah. So that's because when we launched Dane's episode, he was having a show, and people were looking for Dane's I don't know, maybe live show, and then the algorithm push our episodes, and that's where people listen to.
Okay, actually, it's on Spotify. It's also Dane.
Really?
Yeah,
What's the stream?
for the last quarter,
I'm quite surprised.
Combine all 3 episodes
all 3 episodes around
over 1,000.
almost none.
No, right? Because I remember there's slightly more for other episodes.
No, we're talking about just this quarter, you know.
Yeah.
Just this quarter.
Yeah, just this quarter, bro.
Okay, so it's Dane.
Okay.
Yeah, so this quarter is
But interestingly, despite having the most stream, the reels, if you talk about reels, I think Dane and Mustafa Kamal, although we enjoy both of the episode a lot,
It's not well viewed.
well, yeah.
Yeah, it's not well received, guys. Come on, what's happening, guys?
So okay, we don't ask the audience. We should ask ourselves why is that the case?
You ask yourself.
Yeah, why is that the case?
I'm not too sure, bro. Let's see. Nas,
User
what are your
behavior.
thoughts on this?
I
User
think
behavior.
okay. I think Shahid's reels was decent. I think it's like 3,000 over stream, right?
Akasha once also.
Akasha almost 8,000.
Yeah, he shared on his profile.
That means the reels wise, Akasha is the best lah.
Yeah. Oh, so if you guys didn't listen, then Akasha actually runs
Longkang Adventures.
yeah, he runs Longkang Adventures, where he actually bring the children out to
Longkang.
to not Longkang.
Literally,
Yeah, I mean that's one of them, right?
Yeah.
So technically, adventures are in the forest and that kind of stuff.
Nature.
Nature. Yeah. Yeah.
So if we talk about the best performing reels, we don't put in the
Kak Hani actually.
Really?
Kak Hani is 8,009, almost 9,000.
Wow. Shout out to Kak Hani
Yeah. So I think
from Mak Besar.
what really makes the reels go
Viral.
viral, right? Get the views is partly because when the guests share, right? I think it works both ways. Like we also share on our own personal accounts at the same time.
Yeah.
And then when the guests share or rather accept the collaboration, then I guess it pushes the podcast out even more.
And I also believe the right time, the right moment, and I don't know, the right type of reels will attract lah. It's normal lah, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Kahani one is almost 9,000 views. But yeah lah. Interestingly, Kahani's views is 9,000, but her follower is a lot really. But for
Akasha, yeah.
Akasha, what's his handle?
Akasha.
Is it? Akasha. No lah, it's not lah.
Oh, sorry.
Sebarang aja sibuk. You see, Akasha only have 1,200 followers.
Like mine.
Same. But it can reach like almost 8,000 stream. I mean 8,000 views for the reels. Whereas Kak Hani one is like she got like 30,000 followers, right? But it only reached almost 9,000.
Yeah.
So we first of all, I think from here we can clearly say lah, the followership doesn't matter lah. It's really about the engagement of the post lah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Kak Ani shared all or just one?
I think all.
All, yeah. I think
All,
she shared all.
Okay.
Only the Mak Besar event that we covered, not all of it she shared lah.
Yeah. Speaking of the Mak Besar event, I think this is a nice segue. What do you guys think about those the engagement for the social media during that period of time?
I think it's good because again we are riding the wave of the event
The
trend.
event, yes.
Because everyone is looking forward to go to
Yeah.
the event, and we covering it seems like a good match in heaven. We kind of like introduce a lot of businesses, some that we don't know. So ourselves don't know. So we
Actually, most of them also I don't know.
I mean, of course, the Ustaz
yeah.
Fairosi, I mean, you all know, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the highest viewed, right?
Yeah.
Reel so far.
Yeah. So one of the tactics that I did was after we posted, I actually personally texted him. I dropped him a message. Ustaz, we actually posted the reel already. We added you as a collaborator. Yeah, if you're open, you can accept and share lah. Accept the collaboration request. So which he did. So I think that really helped. I think
After that, he removed.
I don't know whether he removed or not.
Okay. I mean, as long as it's inside your collaborator.
Yeah. If it's at least for 24 to 48 hours, we are happy already.
More than happy already.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't remove. It's still here, bro.
Oh,
Still on his profile.
awesome. Yeah. But anyway, I think that event also helped us bring in a lot of followers to our IG account.
Yeah, the IG account that we wanted to increase the numbers, right? At the start of the
correct.
year. Yeah.
Yeah. So the good thing is because of the event, our February target of growing 40% per month, actually we hit that target. Yeah, but this month we are still short of almost 100 followers lah.
I think we didn't take into account the periods of Ramadan and what do you call that? Hari Raya. When we set our numbers.
Yeah, because all these are cyclical seasons.
No, but at the same time, I think this is our mistake also because if we had that foresight or if we have studied the industry better, we should actually take advantage of this period because this period is where people can grow their numbers and their business even further. I mean, of course, there's a lot of barakah when we do our business during Ramadan especially. But on top of that, because there are even more events during Ramadan, we should actually have
the Gilang Serai, the Gemilang, all the bazaars, right? We can replicate the same like what we did in Mak Besar. I saw like our fellow podcasters like ID doing it.
ID has always been doing it, but now I see Outside In doing it.
Outside In, Mak Besar.
I see Biar
Not Mak
Betul.
Besar. Lipat Bapak also do.
Biar Betul also is doing it.
Haider kan.
Yeah.
Shout out to Haider. We want to bring you in, man. Soon. Yeah. Anywhere else? Who else? So I think, of course, we need to also, shout out to also Kau Pahal podcast that they keep mentioning, perfecting your craft. So we are, of course, refining, learning, and always implementing what we learn to perfect our craft. From the podcasting angle and also to the media side of things, going out to interview. It's our first time and it's a bit awkward at the beginning, but I think right now, you're confident, right?
I'm okay. I can adapt very fast.
Yeah.
It's just that we need to sort out our SOPs to be able to capitalize on all these events in the near future.
I agree. Like Dane's live event, the least that we can get is YouTube views. And like Raya Puasa, Ramadan, Hari Raya Haji, what else? Christmas.
Or maybe Coldplay, Taylor Swift.
Maybe yeah.
Right.
No,
projections.
On top of that, we will still have consistent events within this year. So we should really think of how we can make sure that we capitalize on all these events also lah. Like apa nama dia? I'm sure Mak Besar will have more events. I'm sure OLG will have perhaps another 1 or 2 OLG Fest for this year. Twilight and what's the other?
Lalu Lalang.
This one will definitely have.
It's like yearly.
They are like
thing,
doing
right?
quarterly thing lah.
Quarterly, Okay.
Yeah.
So
but sometimes one quarter also they have two 3 events depending. I mean.
And the vendors are like pretty much the same.
Yes.
They are riding on these events to survive. Because they don't have a shop.
Yeah, because sometimes at the same time, these vendors, they kind of like have a relationship with the event organizer. Yeah. So sometimes they just want to do with the same event organizer.
Yeah, correct.
Because it works.
Yeah.
The model works, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exclusivity also lah for them. Yeah, but what about on our part? How can we improve further?
Okay, so I think coming back to what I shared just now about what KH is sharing, right? We attended Port Connect. So Port Connect happened I think early this month, 2nd March.
Yes,
if I
correct.
can remember, the first Saturday of the month.
Yeah.
Abang Osman invited not all podcasts, but most
A
of
lot
the
of them.
podcasts that we know within the Malay community, because I believe there's also other famous podcasters in other community.
Correct. Yeah.
So he bring most of them together, the sponsorship, the sponsors, and the podcasters, and how we can learn from each other.
Yeah.
So business wise, as a podcaster, we need to make sure we are consistent and delivering our craft. So that's why I learned in these 3 months, and I think we can better value add to our listeners, the least that we can do. Yeah.
But other than that, what else? What else can we do to improve ourselves for our listeners?
On my part again, is making sure podcast itself, the recording, the preparing is probably the back, not really back end, the operations. But marketing it, to put it out there, to upload it is also a challenge, because we need to make sure it is uploaded on time. And then uploading it requires a lot of, you need to prepare the copy, you need to prepare the artwork, you need to prepare which platform to put. As much as we can automate things, it's hard. It's hard to automate things unless you have a buffer of 1 week, 2 weeks. But we don't have. We usually have a span of few days. And at most of the time, we are not always free, right? Things caught up, and then, we are delayed by a day or two, inevitably. So it's a challenge. And how I can improve it is, again, like you say, SOP. Yourself, what do you think you can improve in our podcast?
I think perhaps the hours that we put in. I understand that all of us are running our own businesses, but I think it's not fair for both our listeners and our sponsors and our future sponsors that we do not put in the number of hours also into the entire project lah. Because ultimately, especially now that we have more paying sponsors, right? It's not fair if, let's say, we say that we are caught up with other things, because when we started this, we know what it takes to actually bring this further, and also bring this entire project like to certain heights. But we cannot shortchange our listeners and our sponsors in terms of the number of hours we put in lah. So I feel this is something that we need to really think about. Like, as much as we want to automate a lot of things, what we can really do is also take like an additional, I don't know, maybe an hour or so per day for to make sure that we can make sure everything is caught up on time lah. Yeah, I think this is something that we need to work on collectively lah. Okay. And then other than that, because I think once that is fixed, I think the consistency will be much better lah. And because I've been studying our numbers until recently, because after Spotify moved away from Anchor, I don't know what happened lah kan. But I've been observing our numbers, and I realized that with consistency, the momentum and the numbers will be maintained. So
even a spike.
Yes, correct. So and certain episodes, because of that momentum, the spike is even higher than what we are even expected at that point of time. But what I observed is there were like a period where almost for 1 or 4 weeks we were in the top 100 podcast charts. And it's really because of our consistency at that point of time. Yeah, so I think once we resolve the issue about how we want to commit a bit more than what we expect from ourselves in terms of delivering all our content, the additional thing that we need to make sure that we maintain is the consistency, because when I see with consistency and with the number of uploads that we have in terms of weekly episodes that come out, it really push our numbers even higher and even faster. But when we were caught up with a lot of things, and our numbers drop, our number of uploads and episodes drop, that is where I realized even our listenership also dropped. And I really think it's because of how nowadays people are, it's much more easier for listeners to just find another channel because there's nothing new in this particular channel. And when that happens, it's also easy for them to forget you. But if you were to deliver the consistent, like for example, what we did initially of the initial part of the year is 3 uploads per week, right? When we did that and we did that consistently on specific days, I realized that listeners are like more
in tune.
Yes, more in tune on what we are delivering. And I think maybe what we can also do for our listeners is, if let's say example April, we can only deliver 1 episode for the month. I think we need to preempt them also, because at least it's a way for them to make sure that they know that, okay, this month I can expect only this day to listen to the Golden Nuggets, and then perhaps I can anticipate next week when it's going to come out, rather than I'm not too sure when it's going to come out and then I also forget about the Golden Nuggets. I think this is what we can improve on. Yeah. So what about Hanafi?
I think personally, on a personal note, I think we can improve on bouncing off when it comes to the conversation, especially with the guests. So it doesn't seem like one-sided also. So that it really feels so it really feels like a full-on conversation as compared to
interview.
An interview style, because it is supposed to be a conversational style podcast, business podcast, and more often than not, the guest will actually before they leave, they say, was it okay? I feel like I talk too much, right? And that's always the case. It's like, I think like 90% of the time. But usually for us, we feel like, hey, it's okay. I mean, the show is about you anyway, right? So that's one thing that I feel like we can perhaps do better.
Okay.
Right. But at the same time, I think it's a mix and match. Because you also need to understand when this guests need to be able to share the story. Right. So when they are about to share a story, then maybe perhaps we can like pull the handbrake and then let them continue on with the story. That's one. I think secondly, what we can improve is technically it's somewhat related, is our questioning and answer. Although we are not an entertainment podcast, I think if we can get like some spicy details, especially coming from the business owners, that would make the perfect reel. I'm saying this because sometimes we need the perfect reel so that we can push.
Yes, that's true.
And this is not, I mean, it's not just for the Golden Nuggets. At the end of the day, it's going to be for the guest himself or herself, because it's going to help them with their brand. They have like some form of interview content, right? And then at the same time, it's also going to help our sponsors. So it's like, it really works 3-way lah. So that's what I feel we can do better. But it's mainly on set on set, like question and answer.
Okay, can. Yeah, I think the bantering part also. Okay, what do you guys suggest in terms of finding that right guest also? Because when we want to talk about a banter partner, the right guest must also come in, because we do have a few guests who...
Yeah, your favorite, right?
Vibe check. We need to do vibe check.
You see, okay, so example, like I just did that, I interject you. Is to get this kind of emotion. So I think this is something that we can practice. So I think at the same time, like just now you were saying vibe check, right, Nas? Vibe check or not, I think whether you can really vibe with the person, at the end of the day, it's really how you ask them the questions. Like, as much as a lot of people hate Piers Morgan, there are a lot of people who likes him.
Yes.
It's because he knows when to ask, he knows when to interject, and he knows when to be irritating.
Yeah, correct.
He's a good example, to be honest.
And then you just end up watching the whole
correct
episode, the whole 40 minutes or whatever, however long that thing is. Right. So I think that's a good one. One thing that I think, since we have the audience listening to us, if you guys have listened all the way from the start, one of the questions that I want to ask is something that we've actually gotten, I think, twice, or was it once? Is that when we are in the podcast with the guests, do we need to have a bit more energy or hype up? Or is this okay?
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to leave it to you lah. For me, I feel like we leave it to you because you are the audience, you are listening.
Yes.
Let us know.
Yes, let us know, please.
Let us know.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, other than that, do we want to touch on more things or more challenges that we face, or do we want to end it here?
Nas got any challenge?
I think, since you asked, the audience, right? I think the audience can also feedback what they like about our podcast, what they dislike. Probably we can take it as a constructive feedback to improve, because sometimes these blind spots, right? Things that we don't see, and we want to, of course, tackle it in every angle. Some set up implementation. Putting the time, the effort to improve, and then you talk about content. So all these are the parts and puzzles that produce a good podcast. We are still learning, all of us.
Yep.
And we don't have a manager. All of us are managers of this.
Yeah, so we would really appreciate an external POV, guys.
Correct. So you guys are the best POV that can give us probably a good feedback and see how we can move ahead better.
It's better that you guys are the manager, because we don't want Abang Jamil here.
Yeah, man. We can, but the trust needs to be there. The trust needs to be there.
Yeah.
Whoever that is managing us, because we don't. To be honest, as business owners, so we don't like to be managed.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
Because of ego, kan?
Yeah.
Nice.
Come on, admit it. Because we like to do our own thing, but now when we work together, it's a different ball game.
Correct.
Yeah, I think one of the challenges that we have is because we are all business owners, we are all technically alpha. Sometimes we have to
No lah, I'm not alpha.
Come on lah, Amir. We know it.
Remember what Jasper say? I keep a lot of things.
Yeah. Hey, the guests have been listening to your voice. They know lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off cast or on cast, right? We learn about each other.
Yeah.
If you realize.
Yeah.
So
we know that Nazreen like to fart a lot.
He farts a lot.
come on, man. It's part of life, man.
So
in a marriage, if you hear farts, that's really
for those who's coming to the studio, I'm sorry if sometimes the studio stinks.
Don't worry, guys. There's always a humidifier, and this helps me to absorb all those farts. But those farts are healthy. Don't worry. You get more wisdom, and value and nuggets since we are in it.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we end this? I had a question just now, but I forgot.
How do we end this? I think maybe we should think about how we want to, or each of us say one thing that we want to improve on next quarter.
That's the structure. That's the structure. I remember the first meeting like this, we talked about our numbers, about KPIs.
Yeah.
Whether we meet it or not. And then
much we didn't meet.
How do we end it there?
And what?
On that episode, the very first episode of season 1.
Okay,
season 2.
So we say what we want to achieve, which is 300,000 streams.
Okay. So it's setting the goal lah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, the goal setting.
So now, we end it with how we gonna improve it lah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Hanafi start first.
Bro.
Come on.
You just threw me a curveball. How? I think I kind of shared. If we can actually get that real moment, that one real moment from the guest, right? It will really help our numbers. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll still stick to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I think what I still want to focus on our numbers generally. This month our Instagram number of followers didn't grow by 40%. So this is one thing that I want to make sure we push and strive towards for following months. And then our streams also, I would have assumed that we would have crossed like 30,000 by now, but we have not. So we need to think of how to improve that. Of course, like just now Nazreen mentioned, how we market our weekly episode also plays a part. And at the same time also, maybe one more thing that we can improve on is our reels itself. Like, yes, the reel moment is important, but at the same time, how we actually follow good examples. Like example, I think Outside In is a good example for their reels. I think instead of us finding that one moment, we can actually input a few key moments of within that episode into that one reel. I think that is what Outside In does, and I think that is what is appealing also for their and how they get their numbers, I think.
Okay. What about you, Nas?
I think adding on to what you guys talk about reels, right? Yeah, I think Outside In is a good example. But video quality, I think we received a few feedback that video quality is blurry.
But that one we have resolved already. It's okay.
Almost. I think it's just some minor tweaks.
Yeah.
We already have the cameras, but for some reason, like the output isn't as sharp.
Isn't ideal.
Yeah.
So I think we are getting there. It's just a matter of improvement and implementing those improvement. But then again, it's still something that we need to discuss how to achieve the good reel. You know, how to choose, because you need to re-listen each episode, like what, 30 minutes? And to re-listen at 30 minutes, it can be really time consuming. So I don't know whether like there's 3 parts, right? Or one of us take one part and then we come up with the reel. Actually, that's supposed to be the plan, right, initially. But it was not really executed. But yeah, those are the improvement points. On my end, like I said, marketing, making sure it's out there, because everything is organic. We never use paid marketing, unless you want to put some money to push this podcast into paid ads. But since Spotify is helping us, but of course we need to also put on additional effort to be everywhere, omni-channel. If need also be in offline, I don't know, do those flyers, but I don't think it's a need right now. But depending on who we want to target as what you have observed, I think most of our guests are Malay of our community. Okay, so
we are trying to also change
diverse. So maybe that can be an improvement, include other races as well.
Of
because
course,
Singapore is not only consists of Malay, kan?
Yes.
Unless we are a Malay business podcast. Then
which we are not.
Yeah, we are not.
So
that one let people let that organization to do lah.
And other people, other coaches or mentors.
You're getting direct,
No, I mean, if they want to do it.
I mean, they are already doing it.
Yeah, they're already doing it.
Yeah.
So
okay,
I mean, ours is supposed to be a bit more generic. So maybe what I can say to conclude. To conclude this episode is that the 3 of us have agreed that one of the areas of improvement is actually marketing, right? And this is also so that we can actually market better to you guys, and you guys have find a lot more value. We're not trying to go into more to the entertainment side, but we try to add a bit of entertainment such that the value that is being provided doesn't seem too dry
and boring.
Forward. So with that being said, my name is Hanafi, and I have
Amir
and Nas here.
And we are the Golden Nuggets Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. See you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.